Fitz, welcome back to the channel. Let me fix this real quick. Tonight we're gonna have a quick little conversation because I feel like the sensitivity level is just too high right now. And every time I scroll through the internet, it seems like these stories just getting more ridiculous and more ridiculous. And I don't know if it's just me. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping, but let's have a conversation about it. Of course, this is a live stream, so I'm gonna post this after the stream, so you can go back and rewatch it, replay it. If you are in the live stream right now, make sure you hit the like button. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it because this, I think, is just another example. Or let's break it down real quick. Hey, we got Sean in the building. We got Sean in the comment section. What up, Sean? So tonight we're gonna be talking about Donald Trump possibly not celebrating Black History Month. Now, I didn't think that this was a story. I didn't think that it was even real. And there are conflicting reports, but I just don't know what level of sensitivity we have to be at within the Black community to care that he's not celebrating Black History Month, which I don't know if he is or isn't. And I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real. I've never celebrated Black History Month in the celebration sense. I've never celebrated it. I already knew about Black history, or throughout the year or whatever, I do little things to appreciate Black people, Black culture, participate, read books, stay informed. But as far as Black history, Black History Month, I've never sat back and act like it was my birthday month or birthday week. Like, ooh, what am I gonna do on my Black History? No, I don't do that. I don't do that. And so when I see these posts and I see these news articles, Donald Trump, he's not going to celebrate Black History Month. It's just like, bro, the dude ain't even been in office for 3 weeks yet. I don't even think he's been in office for 2 weeks. And already we can see how, once again, they're trying to get the Black community to get emotional, get the Black community to distance themselves from the power that is in office, so that, we feel disconnected. And it's all because they still want us as a voter base. They're going to make up whatever story. Sean said, I don't celebrate Black history. Every day of the year is my Black history. That's right. Every day of the year is Black history. And I'm not even going to dive too deep, and maybe I will. I'll get into the whole Black History Month thing. But here's the deeper conversation that I wanted to have around Donald Trump not celebrating Black History Month. You shouldn't care. As a Black person, the only person you should care about celebrating Black History Month is you. All right? That you. If you decide to celebrate Black History Month, whatever that means, whether you pick out 2 or 3 new Black authors, books to read, or, y'all go to a cookout every Saturday of the month, or, you go to work and you dashiki and it's acceptable this month, or, there's those memes online where you walk in and you looking at your boss like this because it's Black History Month and it's like, you can get away with a little more, those memes. Whatever you have to do on a personal level to celebrate Black History Month, that's what matters the most. See, Black History Month is not about politicizing it so that you can use Black people against the sitting president. That's not what Black History Month is about. So don't take Black History Month and start writing a bunch of articles trying to get us to become emotional about Donald Trump. Don't take Black History Month and try to spin some story and make us distance ourselves from the political process. Don't disenfranchise us because you want us to hate the person who's in the political office. And I'm not even saying you have to agree with his politics, but here's what I am saying, right? What do we know just in our personal lives? Like, let's look at our personal lives. Think of how hard it is to listen to somebody who we dislike on an emotional level. Think of how hard it is. They could say the most accurate thing in the world, and just because they said it, we don't want to listen to it. This is what is happening when it comes to politics. This is what's happening when it comes to politics. And so when you see these stories where you're like, okay, he's not celebrating Black History Month, it has to make you sit back and think, why do I need to know that? Why do I need to know that? Do I need to know if he celebrates his birthday too? Why do I need to know what this man celebrates? They didn't talk about no governmental change. They didn't say Black History Month is illegal now. They didn't say if we catch you with a Martin Luther King shirt on, you going to jail. They didn't say if we catch you listening to Dr. Umar's Breakfast Club interviews, your paycheck getting cut. You know, they didn't say if you grow your afro out and we see you in 7-Eleven buying an overpriced soda that you going to, no. He don't celebrate it. He don't celebrate it. And even if he says the White House don't celebrate it, okay, I don't go to the White House. I don't live at the White House. I don't work at the White House. Why do I need to know what this man is celebrating? It just don't make sense. What do y'all think? Because I see stories like this and it makes me wonder, who is the target audience? Like, who out there is just, like waiting for this article to hit their phone and they just excited and they like, ooh, I needed to know this. I needed to know that Trump isn't. And who getting this information? How are they getting this information? What do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section. What do y'all think? Because this is why I had to get off Instagram. This is why I had to get off Instagram. He said, we get emotional off all the wrong stuff. Exactly. Right? Sean said, we get emotional off all the wrong stuff. But to them, it's the right stuff. Because we see Donald Trump isn't, just like someone hit me up the other day. Someone hit me up, not going to mention any names, but someone hit me up when the whole government freeze things was happening. I think he rescinded that. But someone hit me up about the government freeze, and they were worried. Like they were, where's my food stamps? I'm not going to get my food stamps. And I sat back and I thought, like, man, that was a media hype story. That was a media hype story because if you read the memo, in there, I believe it said that, and then they did press conferences, that individual assistance was not going to be taken away, like direct payments to individuals was not going to be taken away. But the media story twisted it to get us emotional. The media story twisted it to get us, oh, look, it's all people talking about, oh, there's no more Medicaid no more. There's no more Medicaid. There's no more. Come on, bruh. Come on. There's no more financial aid. Just emotional, just making things up. And I'm convinced after seeing this Black History Month story that there's going to be some type of orchestrated event, if you will, that's going to stir up Black people emotionally. I believe that the Democrat Party is upset how we showed our ass in this last election. I believe they are. The Democrat Party, like a parent right now, when they told you not to ask for nothing when you go in the store and then you get in there and you ask for something and they just looking at you. Like, we just talked about this in the car. Like, that's how I think the Democrats are looking at Black people right now. Like, we had Obama come talk to y'all. And they just looking at us right now. So I stopped doing Facebook and Instagram. I do stories sometimes when I'm in the mood. But that's all one-sided. For real, like, I'm going to tell y'all this. I had to get off Instagram when that Travis Hunter thing started dropping. I had to get off Instagram and Facebook when that Travis, more so Instagram. But to see a bunch of Black people who have some of the highest rates of single motherhood, some of the highest rates of divorce, some of the highest rates of domestic violence, telling a 22-year-old about their relationship. I had to get off Instagram. Just people that don't even know this man was online. Travis, Travis, leave her. Travis, she doesn't. He been with her 5 years. Leave her, Travis, and you ain't got nobody at home with you. I had to get off Instagram. I still ain't re-downloaded. I had to get off. And so sorry. That was a little side note. That was just me venting. That was me venting, okay? Because I'm a content creator. This is what I do. I have to look at content so I can stay up to date on the newest things. Outside of that, I wouldn't be looking at this stuff. I read books. I'm what they call growing up. I'm a nerd. I'm a square, right? I'm a what do they call? I'm whitewashed. That's what they used to say to me. I'm white. You reading a book, you whitewashed. Yeah, I'm that. I'm that. That's what they used to say about me. I prefer books. I prefer actual like academia. I prefer research. I prefer that stuff. But then you see these news stories, and the title of the news story is something completely opposite than what's in the body. The title of the news story is completely different than what's in the body and the text of the story. And so, yeah, they used to call me whitewashed. As a matter of fact, I had someone one time tell me, look me dead in my eyes. Another man looked me dead in my eyes. Pause. Pause, okay. Another man looked me dead in my eyes and told me, hey, I'm blacker than you. This was a Hispanic dude. I'm blacker than you because I've been to jail and you haven't. That's what I was told. I was told someone was blacker than me because they've been to jail and I haven't. And see, this is why. This is why I say you have to protect your mental and emotional integrity. Because understand, when these news stories come out and they're telling you Donald Trump isn't celebrating Black History Month, that's not information you need to know. That's not information that you can take and go get a raise at your job. That's not information that you could take and apply it in your business to make more money. I mean, I'm a content creator. I'm talking about it, and in a certain way, you know, I can monetize it and things like that. But if you're not no content creator, it really serves you no purpose. And I'm here to tell you, stay away from that BS. We don't need to know that. We don't need to know that. And see, and Sean, you bring a great point. Why do they think going to jail is considered Black? The reason I took it is because they weren't familiar with Black history. They had a mainstream narrative of Black history. And the mainstream narrative, as much as they like to say that they're for Black people, the mainstream media, they portray us in a certain way that makes it seem like a lot of us are criminals. As a matter of fact, I'll take a step further than that. I had somebody look me dead in my eyes and tell me, hey, don't move to Texas. Don't move to Texas, because I lived in Colorado. They told me, don't move to Texas around more Black people because you're whitewashed and they're not going to accept you. Don't move to Texas. Get the and I asked, well, what makes me whitewashed? Well, you read, you're educated, nigga. You know all Black people aren't criminals, right? You know that. Like, come on. Maybe the dusty Black people you hang out with, drinking alcohol all day and smoking cigarettes, maybe them dusties ain't doing nothing with their life, but there's plenty of Black people out here that are getting the bag, being successful, raising their family, being a good husband, being a good wife, educating themselves. They may not have a college degree, but they're making it happen for their life. And really that college degree is like we read too. What we read too. And so this is why it's important for us to read. This is why it's important for us to Not only read, but read quality information, because when you start looking at actual information in academia and other sources outside of the media, you can instantly pick up on these things because your reading comprehension is up. You can look at that and be like, this is just trolling, bro. Donald Trump, he's not celebrating Black History Month. Okay. I don't celebrate Ramadan. Does it need to be a news story? Oh, well, he's the president. If he's not celebrating Black History Month, he hate black people. Okay. Even if he does, how is that stopping you from celebrating it? Really? Well, like, I need us to start asking questions when we see these stories. I need for us to start asking questions for these white people, black people, what I need for us to start asking questions. How is this serving me in my life? Is this serving me more or them more? What am I getting out of knowing that someone does not celebrate Black History Month? What am I getting? Because and then half the time you click on the story and you go read it and you find out he never said that. Or you find out that's not what happened. Or you go look at another story and it's like, oh, that's your interpretation of what happened. That's your interpretation. He didn't even say that. And I'm not just speaking about him. I'm saying in general, you read a lot of these news stories and you figure out that that's not even what actually happened. And so this Black History Month, and this is the main reason I wanted to get on. I wanted to say how I'm going to celebrate it. I'm going to celebrate Black History Month by making money, by being black like I was before Black History Month, by sticking to my integrity. I'm not finna sit here and lie to y'all and make it seem like I'm gonna start a Million Man March. I'm not. I'm not finna sit here and lie to y'all and make it seem like I'm gonna follow the 10 commandments of Dr. Umar Johnson philosophy. I'm not. I'm not bunny hopping and stuff, but, I shop at white businesses. I say what up. I crack a smile, okay? Sue me, right? I'm a good black person. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I know during Black History Month, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on black people to not show up and sell out in the office, to not show up and be a certain way. So all I'm trying to say is during Black History Month, I'm going to do what I've been doing. I'm going to be me. And that's worked for me long enough. You don't have to change anything during Black History Month. You don't have to go out there and try to get people to celebrate Black History Month. Nah, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's not about just celebrating a Black History Month. It's not like I don't even get that deep with my birthday. I don't even get that deep with my birthday. And I think my birthday way sweeter than Black History Month. I'm just going to be real. I think my birthday way sweeter than Black History Month because here's the thing. I don't trust Black History Month. I don't trust Black History Month because everything else is not aligned with it. Like there's not this deep culture of us appreciating Black history and then Black History Month, we just go over the top. No, we don't appreciate that during the year, most people. So I remember a good intentioned black person, a good level-headed black person look me dead in my eyes. And I keep saying they look me dead in my eyes because I make eye contact with people when I talk, okay? That's why I keep saying that. Good intentioned black person looked me dead in my eyes and said, and this is true, they said, Malcolm X was a slave. They thought Malcolm X lived during slavery. Negro? No. Like, we don't know nothing about black history, but then during Black History Month, everybody want to be blackity black, black, black. No. It's not just about Black History Month. Go learn about black stuff outside of Black History Month. Make it a lifestyle. Make it a lifestyle. I'm tired of y'all telling me that certain people were in slavery and they wasn't. I'm tired of people telling me that Obama is still the president. No, he's not. Stop. Stop. All right. I went on a little rant right there. I'm sorry. Yeah, I be seeing these stories and it be getting me hype. These stories be getting me hype. Cause I'm like, yo, I could see through this, but you would be amazed. When I post some of these videos and I'm in the comment section on some of these videos, you would be amazed at how triggered some of these people are. You would be amazed. Just go look at some of the comments on some of my videos. You would be amazed. And in a lot of my videos, I just be joking around. I be just trying to be positive, and they be going wild in these comment sections. Why? Because their interpretation of what I'm saying is very limited. And I'm not even saying limited like they have to read the same information as me, but you can tell who's kind of in the know and who's not. You could tell who kind of dabbles in it and who really, is well read. You could tell. And so I say this: we have to be careful about what we consume. We have to be careful about what we consume. I do not suggest that anyone look at mainstream media until you've read about 10 books on, like, I'm talking about like mainstream, not mainstream, but staples of Black history. I'm talking about reading Up from Slavery from Booker T. Washington. I'm talking about reading books like White, I think it's called Black Face, White Mask by Frantz Fanon. I'm talking about reading writings from Marcus Garvey, reading books on Malcolm X. I'm reading actual information on Black history and the Black situation in America before you go and turn to the news for your information on Black people. Don't do that. Don't go turn on Power, and don't go turn on Empire and these mainstream shows to get your information about Black people and how Black people act. Don't do that. You're going to get an exaggerated form of Black culture. You're going to get exaggerated forms of what Black people stand for. Don't do that. If you're really interested on Black people, go read books from Black people, on Black people, from Black people who study Black people. Go read actual books on Black people, on Black culture, on Black topics. Go do that. Don't feed into the media's narrative, because the media wants you to become emotional. The media doesn't want you to think critically about what it is they're writing. They want you to go, Trump isn't celebrating Black History Month, hate Trump, vote Democrat next election. If you just did that, they would be happy. They'd be happy. They would go home, job well done, and guess what? You're going to keep coming back for more and for more and for more. But here's the interesting thing. Here's the interesting thing. If you read, I want to say, and it's not even this deep, but if you read one thorough book from just any Black scholar or Black writer on a Black issue, you'll get more than enough information than you need to be well versed in some of these things. Because a lot of these books, they're using the same sources to cite information, historical information. They go into deep discussions on issues within the Black community. They're talking about things in a more nuanced way. They're not giving you the little snippets that you get in the media. There's a whole book to kind of draw out complicated ideas and engage with those ideas. Here's something I learned in graduate school too. You're not really critically thinking about a book until you start writing things down, like taking notes about the book and engaging with those notes and those thoughts. So for example, I may skim through a peer-reviewed article. I may skim through a book and read things and be able to retain certain information. But if I'm jotting down notes and then going and reading those notes and engaging with those notes and then asking questions, I can say, oh, they said this about Black people, and write down 3 or 4 questions, critical thinking questions about that. I've just learned more about that topic than me sitting there trying to just read through and skim. See, we have to start engaging with these ideas. The internet and these news stories, they're not meant for us to engage with them in a critical way. They're meant for us to say hateful things and mean things to the people that disagree with us on them, so that they can put that out there and make it seem like there's a bigger issue than there actually is. That's what the media is for. Hey, we got a couple people in the stream. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, just show a little support. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I know you could be doing anything, so I appreciate all y'all's time. Just hit that like button real quick if you could. Subscribe to the channel if you like anything I'm saying, or maybe you'll like something in another video. Tons of content But make sure you hit that like button. Just show a little support. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, cause I'm saying a lot. I'm saying a lot. Let me know if y'all feeling anything, any questions. What are your thoughts on Trump possibly not celebrating Black History Month? Does it matter? Sean said, this makes me dig in even more. We're not we're not giving little man screen time. You're gonna make reading normal. Yeah, I think we have to make reading normal. And as a matter of fact, um, I've changed my stance on it a little bit, but I prefer to get like a physical book. I don't like the whole ebook thing. I don't like doing that when I changing pages. I like a book. I like a physical book. Now, I will say that the audiobooks are a game changer for me. The audiobooks are a game changer for me, especially when it's the author that's reading it, because I can listen to that instead of putting on some music when I'm driving 45 minutes for a meeting or somewhere like that. I mess with the audiobooks. We got Astro Chronic said, we don't need a Black History Month. Even Morgan Freeman says so. Yeah, I mean, I can see that from a certain perspective because, I think Black History Month does offer an opportunity to bring awareness. And thank you for that comment, Astro Chronic. Make sure you hit the like button. Just show a little support. But I can agree with that from a certain perspective that we don't need Black History Month. Here's what I will say. I think it is a great opportunity to bring awareness to people that wouldn't otherwise think about it. So I'm never gonna say, get rid of it. I'm never gonna say that because I think some awareness is better than no awareness. And I do think that it sparks certain conversations that wouldn't happen if it wasn't there. But on an individual level, do I need it to succeed? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. And I'll take it a step further. I'll say, I think Black people need it more than anything because we've gotten this sense of over relying on the government to do for Black people what Black people should be doing. So in an ideal world, in Fitz's ideal world, Black people would be teaching other Black people about Black history, like Black parents. Black parents would be teaching their children about Black history. We wouldn't be sending our kids to schools that are controlled by the government and saying, here, government, teach our history. We wouldn't be doing that. So in my ideal world, Black history is something that should be taught from Black culture. Unless we have our own schools that we're funding, unless we have our own schools, like I get it. If you live in a mostly Black community and y'all are in charge of the schools, I'm gonna make an exception for that. If y'all running stuff in that area, cool. But if it's some mixed school where there's everybody here and everybody there, and you trying to force these people to learn your history, nah, I don't really mess with that because, I think that it kind of, it takes away the accountability and responsibility. I'm not for any system that sets Black people up to be required to depend on another group of people for something so important like learning your history. We should be teaching that at home. He said, what do you mean your own schools? Americans have American schools. When I say our own schools, I'm talking about schools that are in Black neighborhoods, schools that are, and that's a great question, private schools, Black-owned schools, where the owner is Black and the curriculum is more geared towards Black students and addressing some of their needs. There could be more Black teachers hired, especially Black male teachers. So that's what I mean by Black schools. When I say, like, for example, in the suburbs, there's a different type of education that you get compared to in the inner cities. Now, some could say that those are quote unquote white schools because a lot of white people just happen to go to those schools and they're dominated by white people. And if you have a bunch of Black people coming into those areas saying, hey, we want Black history to be taught in these schools, the predominantly white demographic there may be like, that's not important for our children. So I think that there are certain things that are important for the black community that's not important for the white community or the Hispanic community. Like I've been to schools that are mainly Hispanic, and you know, like they gear it towards the Hispanic kids. Like they got teachers in there speaking Spanish. Like they really, you know, like the books they read, the books that they have that they're teaching, you know, are from Hispanic authors and things like that. So that's what I'm talking about. Not saying that you can't go there if you're a different race, just saying if you're from a certain community, the education can be geared in a certain way to where you're not going to get much pushback for example, talking about Malcolm X in a certain way. Someone said the first principle of racism is to relate to yourself or others by racial identity. I don't agree that that's the first principle of racism. Racism is about power, and racism is about a feeling of superiority. I'm talking about black people from a cultural and community perspective, not from a superiority perspective. I'm not saying black people are superior. I'm just saying, you know, I don't think white people are as interested in learning about black culture and black history as black people are. I don't think that. Just like, you know, if I go to Mexico right now, they're not going to sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, we love black history. We want to learn, like teach it in our schools." That's not relevant to them. It's not relevant to them. So I can't go and push that on them and expect that their kids are going to be enthusiastic about that. That's my history. That's not their history. So it's not racist to say that, for example, black children should learn about black history, or that if you live in a predominantly black area and your school, the black parents that are on the black school board and all that want to teach that or have that as part of the curriculum, cool. And that's the part about America that I love, is that you can come here as a different group and carve out your own niche. You can carve out your own niche, and it's not racist because everyone does it. You don't have to feel superior. It's more so about culture and community. You can still respect other cultures and communities while preserving your own and teaching certain things. Rez Dog 94 said, "Who cares about Trump? Buddy is a professional troller." Astrochronic says, "Racism is about categorizing people by race and assigning different expectations accordingly." Racism, part of it is categorizing people by race, but it's not just categorizing them by race. It's the attachments that you assign to those races. So for example, it's not racist for me to say that I'm black. That's not racist. But what is racist is to say that because I'm black, I'm less intelligent. That would then be racist because there's really no proof for that. It's not racist to say that black people have a higher rate of diabetes. There's a race and then there's something attached, but that's not racist because that's something that is factual, right? Like those are factual things. So just assigning someone a race in and of itself is not racism. There has to be some superiority attached to it, or there has to be some type of discrimination, or there has to be something outside of just assigning somebody a race that makes it racist. And like I said, what I'm talking about is mainly culture. I'm talking about teaching a culture. Because if that's the case, if I say, all right, well, Chinese people, they know Mandarin. Well, that's not relevant to my culture. So if I sit there and say, no, we don't want Mandarin taught in our schools because that's not relevant to black culture or what we feel like is important for us to go out there and interact with each other in our community, that's not racist. Like if you go to a Native American tribe and you start trying to teach them things that aren't relevant for living off of the land, that's not it's just not relevant. So every culture is going to have things that are relevant to them. Every culture is going to have things that's relevant to them. If you're growing up in LA, in an area that is saturated with gang activity, you need to know what a Crip and a Blood is. You need to know what the gangs are. You need to know what those colors represent in that area. But if you go to a white suburb where there's no gang activity and you start trying to talk about Bloods and Crips, that's not relevant to them people. So maybe don't assign a course about it. Maybe don't assign things that aren't relevant to them. Every group of people is going to have things that are relevant to them. And so what I'm saying is, like, with this whole Trump thing, um, and him not celebrating Black history, I'm not mad at it, because he's what? He's 78. Maybe it's not relevant to him. Maybe it's not relevant to him. Maybe he didn't grow up around anyone that celebrated it or it was a big deal. Like, we can't expect everyone to care about what we care about. I think if we have strength in our own culture and pride in our own culture, that should be enough. And we should celebrate it with people that want to celebrate it. We don't, like, people, like, even with my birthday, I don't really celebrate my birthday. As a matter of fact, people who do celebrate their birthday kind of annoy me. Like, if you're not no kid, it kind of like, bro, you taking it too far now. We get it. I'm going to tell you happy birthday. Maybe, maybe we go out and eat something, but I'm not getting you no gifts and stuff. That's just me, though. Everyone celebrates things differently. We got a couple people in the stream right now. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit that like button if you were in the stream right now. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Hit that like button. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on this whole thing, because I have a feeling over the next couple days that this is going to blow up into a bigger story. I just have a feeling, especially when Black History Month actually is here, this is going to blow up. But make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join us in the comment section, give your thoughts. We got a good little conversation going on right now. But make sure you hit the like button. Got birthdays are weird now. Said the people would rather have symbolism than real change. I agree. People would rather have symbolism than real change. And that's why it's so easy for us to be manipulated. That's why it's so easy for them to write a story and say, Trump doesn't celebrate Black history. Trump doesn't celebrate Black history. Okay, I don't care. What that got to do with me? What does that have to do with me? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And here's another thing. And I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I feel like it needs to be said. There's a culture shift happening in America, particularly within the Black community, where I really believe that there's going to be a red wave within the Black community the next election. I really believe that. I think more Black people are comfortable being conservative. More Black people are comfortable being Republicans, and exploring that train of thought. And the reason why is because right now, in this time in history, I think that conservatives are standing up for the rights that Black people are going to need if we want to ever close in some of the gaps that exist. If we want to ever fully take advantage of the American opportunity, we need freedom of speech. We need the right to bear arms. We need to be able to start businesses and not have tax money constantly being taken out. We need these things. And so there's a shift. And we can't just keep being told that they're bad, don't vote for them. We need to start looking at the economics. We need to start looking at what's best for our children. Astro Chronic said, nah, I feel that. But we need to start looking at what's best for our children. How does it serve us to raise weak children who look at media stories and then just run off of their emotions? How does it serve us? That's not next level thinking. Our children need to be reading books. Our children need to know how to think critically. I read somewhere that they're not, I know somebody that's in the education system that says they're not even requiring children to read books in schools anymore. They're not even requiring children to read books in school anymore. I remember when I was in school, there'd be a book, right? There'd be a big old book with a bunch of different stories in it, and you would have to read out loud. And you was praying that you didn't get picked on. I wasn't, because I've always been articulate and could read. But there was some people in that class There was some people in that class that was sweating. They was praying. They was praying to white Jesus, not black Jesus. They was praying to white Jesus that they didn't get called on to read that book. Why? Because just like back then, reading wasn't taken seriously, but it was required. Now reading isn't taken seriously. And I believe that if black people don't want to fumble the bag over the next 4 or 5 years, we are going to have to take these core things like reading, critical thinking, and independent research to a whole new level. We can't just go with what the media is telling us no more. We never really could, but especially now we can't. We just saw this last election. We were given a candidate, and when I say we, I'm just talking about the American people, whether you're a Republican, Democrat. We were given a candidate as the Democratic presidential candidate who nobody voted for. Who nobody voted for to be in that position, and you have people bitching and complaining about a person who was voted in. I fundamentally, I don't understand how we let that slide. I don't understand how we let that slide, because what's stopping your opponent? What's stopping the party that you don't want to do that from doing that? What's stopping that? Just logically, if we say, Kamala, yeah, you didn't get voted in, but we want you. No. But we make exceptions because it's her? Nah. And see, this is how you know, right? Someone said, voting, what's that? Who knows anymore? Who knows anymore? We got some people in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, show some support. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, if y'all like this Fit Father, Fit Family shirt on, make sure you hit the link in the description, fatherflex.com. We sell fitness gear, fitness and leisure gear for fathers who want to be healthy for their family. Fathers who want to be healthy for their family. Fatherflex.com. Information is in the description. Fatherflex.com. Make sure you go check out the gear on there. Let me know what y'all think. New gear is coming soon. But back to what I was saying, you know, we have to be careful about the information we consume, and we have to be more careful about the information we let our children consume. And that's what I really wanted to talk about tonight, is this isn't even about you. This is about your children. This is about your future. Because if you're consuming information like this, like, what do you think your children are doing? How are you teaching them better? There are kids out here, second graders, third graders, that swear by God that Kamala Harris is the president for them. That they lost. You had second, third graders talking about their reproductive rights. Second and third graders talking about their reproductive. If you don't go watch some, what? If you don't go watch some SpongeBob, what do you care about reproductive rights? But what happens is your mama, she in the van, and she talking to her girlfriend on Bluetooth while she should be driving, paying attention. She talking about how she can't have an abortion no more. And you in the back seat, baby girl in the back seat, she hear it. Mommy, what's an abortion? Imagine that. How do you tell your kid how do you tell your second year grade old daughter what an abortion is? But these kids, they know about abortion. These second graders know about abortions now, and we should listen to them. No, it's crazy. Astrochronic said, to be fair, it was real late in the game when Biden dropped out. It was kind of tough for them to organize a whole new nomination process. See, I would agree with you. I would agree with you on that. It was late. I think it was late on purpose. I think it was late on purpose because here's the thing. I'm an entrepreneur. I've negotiated contracts before, and what I can tell you is people crack under pressure. There's no way you can tell me that any of those people, Joe Biden, Obama, any leader in the Democrat Party believed that if Kamala Harris had a fair race against other candidates, that she would have won. I don't believe that any leader in the Democrat Party believes that. And why do I think that? Because when she actually did run, she did horribly. And on top of that, they didn't even believe that Joe Biden could win if there was a fair election where they actually let other candidates come in and try to win that position. Look at what they did to RFK Jr., who, in my opinion, was the best candidate out of anybody. Trump, Biden, Kamala Harris. So I think that the Biden dropping out late was orchestrated. Not on no conspiracy tip, just strategically. And I really believe that they knew that this man would drop the ball on that debate. Because after that debate, when he came out and he was mumbling, remember that? He came out, he was mumbling, didn't know where he was, didn't know what he was saying, said that he finally beat Medicare. When he came out and did that, the whole world was watching, and I believe that they did that on purpose so that they could usher Kamala Harris in. Because there's no way you can tell me that he just started doing that night. We knew he was like that when he got elected in 2020. We knew he was like that. There's no way you can tell me that the people that were around him all the time, that were around Joe Biden, just figured out that he was unfit during that debate. If he would have came out and killed the debate, they would have just let it slide. They dropped him at that timing because they knew it was last minute and that there would not be time to organize a proper election to get a Democrat candidate in there who people wanted. And they figured that Kamala Harris had the easiest path. It was orchestrated. There was not enough effort to make it a fair election. There was not enough effort, especially if you're America. You're America that touts democracy and freedom, and we need to have free elections, and you didn't put that much energy into it. Nah, I done did science fair projects the night before. I know they got some smart people in there. They can hustle together an election now. They can get the brightest minds and figure that out. That was something, when we're talking about democracy, that you just got to figure out. You know, I'm not buying that they couldn't do it. I'm not buying that. That don't make sense to me. Because had it have worked the other way around, they would swear on life that was cheating. They would swear on life. How convenient. How convenient for them. It just don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense. But what do y'all think in the chat? It's an interesting conversation. And if you're in the stream right now, make sure you hit the like button. Please show support to the channel. We are almost at 1,200 subscribers. It's been a grind getting these subscribers and getting the channel out there. But please show support. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of great content. I'm posting more right now. And so there's going to be new content around parenting, new content around just lifestyle, new content around fatherhood. I'm going to be getting a little deeper into those topics. Also, I'm going to be doing monthly analysis on a big issue. And so when I post on my community page, let me know any topics you want me to cover in depth. For those of you who don't know, and I hate saying this, like I don't say this just to say it, but just to give you a little bit about myself, I do have a master's degree in sociology. I've done original research. I've written original research, looked at hundreds of research articles, dissected them, done presentations and everything. So when I tell you I know how to go deep on these issues and do analysis, do content analysis, all that stuff, you just gotta let me know what topics y'all are interested in. I ain't trying to do no 30-minute analysis, 45-minute analysis if nobody wants to watch it. So make sure y'all let me know what you want me to analyze. Any reaction videos you want me to react to, send them my way. Put them in the description. Check me out. You can send them to me on my Instagram at Fitz Uncensored. Just stay connected. Just stay connected. Yeah, someone says all a BS game. I believe so. I believe so. And this is getting back to, and I'm not gonna keep y'all all night because I got some kids I gotta lay down for bed, and they gonna start banging on the door and shit like that. They don't respect boundaries. But we getting there. It's a learning process. But like I was saying earlier in the conversation, and just to kind of close things out, and I'll answer any questions that y'all put in the comment section. You know, we have to do better this election cycle, or not this election cycle, but this presidency cycle of being less emotional. We have to do better. We can't fall into these BS stories. We can't let, and here's another thing. What happened to these Black Lives Matter riots? What happened to them? What happened to these Black Lives Matter protests? I didn't see any. I was actually surprised that there were none. Someone said, I don't really care for Trump to celebrate Black History Month at all. Just get resources, funding, and public police from President Donald Trump and keep it moving, okay? Yeah, that's all I'm saying. If we get the resources, if these communities, Black communities, whatever communities, get the help they need, I don't care if you celebrate Butterfly Day. I don't care what you celebrate. Do your job. We didn't put you in office for you to celebrate no damn Black History Month. That wasn't on the job description. Y'all employers don't even celebrate Black History Month like that. You ain't get one day off Black History Month. But you care if he celebrated? You care if the administration celebrates it? For what? And here's the thing, even if they did celebrate it, all y'all would do is say, oh, he just doing that to appeal to Black folk. He just doing that. That's cultural appropriation. That used to kill me. I remember in college, true story. I remember when I was in college, I was part of Black Student Union. And there was a conversation that pissed me off. There was a conversation where there were a bunch of Black women in the room. And they were saying that white women shouldn't be able to braid their hair because that's cultural appropriation. But it doesn't end there. They were also saying that they wanted to feel more included, that it needs to be more inclusive. So let me get this straight. You want things to be more inclusive, but you don't want other people doing things from your culture? Doesn't make sense. But that's where the emotions come in at. That's where the emotions come in at. We don't know what we want. Right, someone said, how are you going to tell somebody they can't braid their hair? I don't know. And here's why I was hurt by that. I'm not even going to say I was hurt. Here's why I had an issue with it. I love Mexican food. I don't care what any Mexican tells me. I'm eating some Spanish rice. I'm going to eat me a smothered burrito. I don't care if the president of Mexico says I can't have some Spanish rice. I'm eating me some Spanish rice. I don't care if it's cultural appropriation. I'm gonna put the oil in the pan. Right? Well, actually, I use butter. I'm gonna put the butter in the pan. I know you should use butter. I'm gonna put the butter in the pan, warm it up, put my little white rice in there, long grain white rice, put it in there. Don't burn it. You gotta watch that rice. When you making Spanish rice, you gotta watch it when you cooking it, because it'll burn like that. But you put that in there, put your tomato sauce, put your chicken broth in there. I'm telling you, you could say I'm culturally appropriating all day. I love Mexican food and I'm gonna eat it. So that's why I was like, yo, y'all not finna mess up. Y'all not finna make this awkward for me. Y'all not finna mess this up for me, because I be culturally appropriating all the time then. If that's what it is. See, Black people, we got to stop that now. We got to stop complaining about everything. Y'all gonna make us the new white people. And when I say the new white people, I'm talking about white people catching hell for everything. White people catching hell. And we gonna start catching that hell too for stuff. See, Black people, we be thinking we just get away with everything. We be saying the N-word. We be talking shit about white people. We be doing everything and no one hold us accountable. We just get away with everything. It's not going to be like that forever. Someone said, we got Dharma Breezy says, to be honest, I kind of feel like Black History Month is keeping us back from being one with each other. It should be taught in history, but we don't need a month to be different if we want to be equal. That's interesting. And I've heard that perspective before, and I can see why if you're not Black, it could be like, well, why do they get their own month? Here's how I look at Black History Month. I looked at Black History Month because it was created, I think, around the 1920s. So it was created around a time where I think that there was a need for it. There was a need for acknowledgement because Black people were not getting the credit that we deserved. There were stories that you hear of Black surgeons who were working under white doctors who were not getting the credit they deserved for operations that they came up with, for inventions that they came up with. So I think there was a need initially for Black history to be put out there. Do I think it was a political move? Probably. But I think there was an original good intent behind it. My issue with Black History Month is that Black people should be teaching, like Black parents and the Black community should be teaching our community that should be something sacred to us that we do amongst ourselves instead of pushing it on other people. See, I'm the type of person, I look at power dynamics. And for me, I think it makes us look weak. Please, everybody, please acknowledge our history. Please read about Martin Luther King Jr. Please read about Malcolm X. No. I'm not going to go crying to other cultures to learn about my culture. That's my culture. Those are my people. I'm going to learn about that's something we should hold sacred. We shouldn't want the government teaching it. We shouldn't want it to be this month where all these other groups of people are making money off of it and doing Black History Month sales and things like that and cashing in on it. And our month can get, and our history can get politicized over and over again between these parties that have their own thing going on. That's something that we should be doing as a community and as a culture, teaching our own people, our own culture, our own history, and it should be something sacred where we come together in humility, where we come together and appreciate in our own ways, create our own traditions, but not try to push it on people to where it can be used as some type of virtue signaling or some type of weapon against political parties to say, oh, you're not celebrating Black History Month. No. Dharma Breezy says, but other folks do need to know about history because we can't mollywop a white kid for hurting our babies. Feel me? Hey, I don't know that that's going on for real. I think it might be the other way around. I don't think Black kids getting picked on in school now like that. I be watching these movies from the 70s and 80s where, they got the white boy and the bullies go in the bathroom and shove his head in the toilet. I don't know any Black person I grew up around that would have tolerated that. I don't know any. I be looking at that like, on God, that don't really happen. Why do they keep making this stuff up? You cannot tell me that was really happening up in these schools. I don't know anyone that ever happened to. He said, oh, they do. Rez Dog said, we are all human. Faster we can accept that, things will be better. Hey, I'm with the positivity. What, they be doing that in Seattle? What they be doing to Black people in Seattle? I ain't heard about this. What's Seattle doing to Black people? Because, I don't know. When I was in school, it was the Black people, man. It was, I'm not even going to front. It was the Black people where, like, they was on a different tune. They was on a different tune. They in the back of the classroom, they won't shut up. They laughing, can't learn. I'm on the bus trying to read a book. They talking shit about me because I'm reading Harry Potter. Nah, it was my people I had to fight. Said they be getting busy in Seattle. I watch it on Instagram. Uh, I heard the rain is good in Seattle. That's all I heard about Seattle. I don't know much about Seattle. Maybe they getting active in Seattle. Maybe they doing stuff. You see what happens is, Dharma said, what happened is there's no suspension up here. So the upper class areas just let it happen since it's mostly white. And if you fight back, only the black kids get in trouble. I'll have to look into that because what I have heard is this. What I have heard is, uh, you know, at school sometimes there are people that will antagonize you. For example, when I was in school, they would try to antagonize me. I remember one time someone threw a piece of paper at me, and they did it when the teacher wasn't looking. So the teacher didn't see them, and then I threw it, and then the teacher saw me, and I got kicked out of class. And so what I'm wondering with that situation is that a scenario where things escalate? Are these teachers racist? What's going on? Is that kind of the message you're sending? So I know because after 6 months of speaking out the right way, I finally put a camera on my son. Yeah, see, I have kids too. And one thing we not finna do. We not gonna give up our Second Amendment rights. We not gonna give up, no. And I'm not saying bring a weapon to school. I don't want nobody to think that. But what I'm talking about is your right to self-defense. I'm saying somebody put their hands on you, that's it. That's it. Because I remember my dad, they tried to tell me, if somebody puts their hands on you, you go tell the principal. What? My dad said, you don't go tell no principal. Hey, if the principal got a problem, I'll fight the principal too. Let me find out somebody put their hands on you and you didn't put their hands, you gonna have to deal with me. That's what I was told. He told me, let me worry about the principal. So no, I don't play that. You know, if someone's putting their hands on somebody's kids, you know, then with my kids, I'm gonna have to see their daddy or their mama. You know, these women be trying to fight too. It's equal opportunity now. I'm just gonna be real. I'm not even gonna front and say that I'm above going there. You know, when it comes to my kids, if you a human with a heartbeat and your kids messing with my kids, we gonna have to see. We gonna have to see about it. We gonna have to see about it. Told him to fight back, and they tried to kick him out. Boys was bigger than him, so I might have met up with the moms, hypothetically ending things for my son's issue. Hey, when it comes to the kids, everything's on the table. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I never tell a parent to, you know, not stand up for their kids. And honestly, a lot of these schools, I think that they have an overflated sense of how well they manage bullying, how well they manage those situations. They don't. That's not how the real world works. You put your hands on somebody in the real world, you could end up getting killed. They're not teaching that in school. They're making people in some of these areas believe that they can just treat people however they want. And then when your kid goes to school and they feel like they don't want to live no more because they getting bullied and you have to bury them because they done taken their life, that school not going to be there. They going to get a lawyer and they going to say no comment and they going to act like it never happened. So nah, my kids standing up for themselves. We can always find a new school. We can't find a new kid, right? We can always do that. We can always do that. So salute to you for being proactive. Salute to you for being proactive. There's a book called The Push Out. I forget who the author is, but it talks about how Black children are penalized more in schools for the same behavioral issues as other kids, white kids, other kids. And so that's an interesting book. Said, my kids are beyond well behaved. I worry sometimes too well. Said, we gonna let the kids fight it out and then the parents gonna fight. Yep. You right. Good plan. I'm gonna do that. Appreciate it. President 48 said, Black jobs truly come from being entrepreneurs, job creator, business owner, boss ownership, not being an employee or worker with no growth or no long-term wealth. in America workplace, okay? Yep, I'm all for that. I'm all for entrepreneurship. I think we need more of that. One thing that I like that's happening now is I think more people are realizing you need multiple streams of income, and it's making us think entrepreneurial. A lot of the skills that I have, and just to be transparent with y'all, I'm an entrepreneur, but I also believe in having a W 2 job so that you can build up those skills, have an income to fund the business, have some stability. See, me, I jumped in feet first. I jumped in feet first and I made some money in the beginning, but what ended up happening is uh, the deals weren't following through like they needed to. And so I ended up having to go get a W 2 job to kind of supplement that. But I learned a ton during that time. And so now I've realized more about the financing side of it. I realized more about the hustle and grind and how to be more productive. And these AI tools are insane. What they can do and how they can help you didn't really exist. But side note, try to fund that. Try to get a source of income that's stable to fund it. If you feel like you need to jump in, feet first, do it. I guess I'm not here to tell you not to do it, but try to be strategic. Try to be strategic with it. Said integration did in fact hurt blacks. That's what Alex says. Integration hurt blacks. Res Dog says Monique W. Harris is the author. Yep. Integration did in fact hurt blacks. You'd have to specify how. I think in some ways it did. In some ways, it didn't. I think that, when it comes to integration, it was really just public services that were integrated. I think that there was a deeper thirst for white approval that had already existed and that was boiling over at the time. I don't think integration explains some of the issues that we see in the black community. She said, I have to go, but I'm definitely going to sub. Appreciate you, Dharma. I'll see you in another live stream. See you in the comment section. Thank you for the support. Have a good night. Yeah, as far as integration goes, and this will be my last point, as far as integration goes, and I'll have a deeper conversation in another live, I do think it harmed us in some ways, but, I'm not going to put it all on integration. I think that it's a mindset thing, and that black people weren't as connected as we thought we were. We were just doing it because we had to, and I don't think that that's long-term what would have got us to the next level because we had to. I think that, when other groups of people come here, we don't see them thirsting for white approval in the same way that black people are thirsting for white approval. And so that's why I say that integration didn't do it, because why aren't all these other groups of people crashing out over white validation and white approval the same way that black people are? It's psychological. And so while integration did serve to break down a lot of black businesses and did serve, and I'm not even gonna say that integration did, because we didn't have to go and give up our black businesses, our black towns, all that other stuff. But what I will say is that I think what integration did was I think it made black people feel like they were citizens in this country. And I think that in exchange for that, they gave up that racial pride. And when I say racial pride, not racist pride, like, oh, we don't like white people or we don't like these other groups of people. But what I'm saying is that pride to say, hey, we're the black community, we can fix our own problems. That pride to say, hey, y'all talking about gang banging on these songs, we're not with that. We're not with it. Y'all talking about black women in these songs like they trash, we not with that. Right? That stems from a deeper issue, which is that black people in this country, I'm not even going to say always, but I think, definitely in modern times, I think black people in this country are still suffering from psychological issues related to slavery, related to how we've been treated in this country. I'm not putting it all on white people. I am saying that we have a dying black culture that needs to shift, and that the only way that that's going to happen is if we understand that our success is our responsibility, and that whatever needs to happen, it can't be the government, it can't be white people, it can't be Hispanics, it has to be black people that fix our own problems. And so I do think integration was problematic, but I'm not gonna put, you know, I'm not gonna put that much weight on it, because right now they could tell me I could have, I don't know, they like with my family and stuff, they could say, oh, you could you could walk away from your family right now and never have to pay child support. I'm not going to do it just because they allow me to, because I value my family. So just because the government says, oh, y'all can eat in white restaurants now, or y'all could do this, y'all could do that, if you value the black community, there's certain things that you wouldn't do. You keep your money in that black bank. You keep patronizing at these black restaurants. You keep doing that if you really value the black community. So it comes down to values and priorities. So I don't think integration explains why those weren't there. But I appreciate y'all. If you are in the stream right now, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for the support. Great conversation. Check out some of the other content on the channel. My name is Fitz. Also, before I go, make sure you check out fatherflex.com. Information is in the description. Fit Father, Fit Family gear is now available. Hoodies, hats, we got sweats, all of that gear designed for fathers who want to be healthy for their family. Great mission. Go check out the website. Go check out the apparel. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, and y'all have a good night.